method of gun control. And so this is where the mindset of both political parties in America lie, generally speaking. I mean, even some of the people who do the right thing in Congress turn around on another bill and do the wrong thing. It's just amazing. But anyway, those are some of the things that are going to go, which are going on out there. And also, we're looking at probable passage of a cap and trade, which is going to increase all of your taxes by 20%. And if you got a pool and you're using electricity, it's going to be a nightmare. That'll cost you $1,000 a month or something like that. That the whole thing is insane. And if they pass the medical legislation, that's another 20% increase in taxation. So if you're paying 25% and you're paying 5% to the state, and you add on 40, you get 70%. Never mind all the other taxes that are in between. They're going to tax you to death. And that's the change you're going to get. You asked for it, you got it. Questions? Are you ready, Melody?
Yes, I am, Bob.
Can you comment on Melody's show about Meredith Whitney's comments about the banks? Is there validity to her comments, or has she been coerced by the Illuminati to speak positively about them? Okay. Another question, same venue.
Yeah, I got one of those, too, also.
Could you talk about what Meredith Whitney said about Goldman Sachs on CNBC? Also, have you heard any of the news about the computer program that you wrote about that Goldman has? Okay. First of all, she doesn't realize how deep she's into this thing. She may by now. She formed her own firm. I don't think she's getting very much business because she's being shut out. Because she blew the whistle on the biggest scam in history, financially. And I don't think she realized it. But anyway, she did it. She said Goldman was the only buy among the banks because they're going to make money. And it probably is. She's right. But she didn't stop and tell everybody how they made the money. And that brings in the program that was promulgated by the United States government and only given to Goldman Sachs so they could front-run the market and make all kinds of money. I'm just wondering what the split is between Goldman and the government. Do they split 50-50, or is it 70-30, or what's the deal? And, of course, all of the other competitors can't compete because they're cheating, and the public and the other competitors, who are all professionals, they all get screwed. And this is the way your government operates. And the reason I found out about this is that one of the employees from Goldman went to work for another firm, Citadel, and they said that he took the program with them, and it was available in Germany, and that the Russian and Israeli mafias were behind this thing, that this person who was a Russian who was employed by Goldman. But, it always gets me, she did the right thing a little over 2 years ago by saying, Citibank had no clothes. And she was right. And now she can't tell me she's dumb enough not to know about we'll call it the supposed stolen program made by the government for Goldman, so Goldman and the government could cheat everybody. She didn't bring that up. And so that's lying by omission. So I've lost a lot of respect for her. But then on the other hand, if she'd get up there and told the truth, she'd be all finished. And she's probably finished now, but she doesn't know it.
How about this scenario, Bob? Goldman Sachs helped her open up her little firm so that she could be doing exactly what she's doing. So,
do they report that?
Pardon? No, that's my little scenario. And
I hadn't thought about that.
She's smart enough to know what she's doing, and she's smart enough, but I just can't And I think they bought her off.
Well, we'll find out. The Whitneys are a big, rich family in New York, and in fact, they were for the last 150 years were big in charities. The Payne Whitney is a great big wing at New York Hospital in New York City, and the Whitneys were immensely rich people. Now, whether she's part of that family or not, I don't know.
I mean, I just don't believe any. I believe everything that comes off those programs, off of mainstream news and CNBC, they know exactly what's going to be said, and there's a reason for everything, you know.
Well, that's why they don't invite me on, Melody.
Huh?
That's why they don't invite me. You know, I get contacted today by Russia Today. They wanted me to go on, and I told them I lived in a foreign country, and they said, well, you have to have Skype. And I said, well, I don't have it, and I'm not going to get it. And if you don't want to interview me my way, that's okay. Go interview somebody else.
You can use my Skype.
No, these people, they go to people to be interviewed, and that's to fill up. They want it their way. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just too bad. You know, the people in Russia are going to miss me, that's all. Anyway, those are my two questions.
Well, the one question I had was also about Whitney being an insider from the very beginning. And,
could be.
You know, she did what she was supposed to do. Now she's being rewarded with her business, and she just made another name for herself. Another question I have is about every summer, gold's supposed to go down. Summer gold weekend, and the stock market drops. And he says it's just the fact that gold's low trading volumes in August are a welcome invitation for manipulative traders and large institutions to knock down the price of gold. In fact, each of the last 5 years, gold and silver have both dropped sharply in August, but then bounced back even more strongly than the broad markets. Do you see this often repeated correction scenario happening again?
No. We've already had the correction. It's over. It was man-made by our government. And from here on, it's flat or upward. I hear these chartists and wavists and cyclists telling us gold's going to 300 and 500 and $32.50 an ounce. And these people are crazy. I mean, how do people buy their publications? It just beats me. I don't know how Bob Proctor stays in business. He's been right once in 35 years. I mean, you got to be kidding me. And you know, people subscribe to that gobbledygook. I can't believe it. And I told him the same thing in 1985 to his face. He wasn't very happy. He's never spoken to me since. But that's okay. Lots of people out there to talk to, especially the poor people who work hard all day and don't bamboozle people.
I don't know if this is the proper time to bring it up, but I had a couple of calls in reference to the article that was posted out of Minneapolis, and or some people are still invested there.
Well, good. We informed everybody they didn't listen. They're going to lose their money, and they deserve to do so.
And so I wouldn't wait around to see, you know.
It was a Ponzi scheme. One of the not subscribers, but one of the clients of Kiley, this Pat Kiley and Trevor Cook or whatever his name is, and Durrell. They all work together. They're all partners. And one of the investors wanted their money back because they wanted to buy a farm. Incidentally, I've talked to them. And so I get the straight story. And the money was not forthcoming. So they hired an attorney who went there in their behalf, and that's why the story was in the Forecaster. Because I told everybody that I thought there was a possibility that this was the Ponzi scheme, and I gave a whole bunch of reasons. And obviously everybody got out except 2 or 3 people. And so they got nobody to blame but themselves. And I hope they get their money out, and I hope they get whole. But, you know, we're talking the first guy wants $5 million, and then there's a bunch behind him who want another $5 million back. So I think they get problems. And if they don't give them the money back, it's crime time. And that means they'll spend 5 to 10 years in a federal penitentiary if they don't do that, because it would be considered